What's good, YouTube? We have another Kevin Samuels reaction video for you guys today. And this video is mainly about him speaking on high value men and high value women. Mainly the women part, basically saying how can you become a high value woman through a man.
A man you want. A lot of this stuff about high value has been around. High value, high value. So yeah, even though I did not make it up, I didn't make up the terms high value. I have popularized it. So we're going to continue to go on. Now, high value. Ladies, you know what a high value man is. And for those of you who don't remember, let's run them down real quick. First off, a high value man starts with money. Assuming you live in a place where the cost of living is about 100%. Dallas, Houston, Austin, Atlanta, starts around $10,000 a month. $10K a month in Atlanta dollars. And that man needs to make that money for at least 5 years. Around 3 years, he's scratching the surface. One of the most important aspects of being a high value man is group acceptance. Other high value men must see you as a peer. So again, this whole notion of high value loners, kind of funny to me. Next, network of high value men and others. Your network is your net worth. Your net worth is your network. You need to have a network. Number 5, visibility. You know, being a high value hermit kind of defeats the point. LinkedIn level, meaning your life, your status is pretty much known at a glance. I'm the head of cardiology at Johns Hopkins, or I'm an entrepreneur. Those two things, one doesn't have people asking many questions. Another leads only to more questions. And lastly, and probably one of the most important things, and these are in no particular order except with the money, it has to start with the money. You must be useful to others and the group. These are the steps, essence, traits, tips of being a high value man. Now, what I did is I asked myself, over any time frame in life, who are the men who've actually separated themselves from the pack? This is what happens when you don't actually cut the wick. So let that do what it's going to do. I asked myself, over any length of time, what are the men who have separated themselves and become the top of the pack? High value man has nothing to do with women. Being a high value man has nothing to do with women, but women are a part of it. That's the show countdown timer to keep us kind of on track. And we're going to run this along the bottom so to make sure you can support the channel. But let's be real. Tonight you showed up. Oh, fragrance of the day. Dior Feb Delicios are one of the best Tonka fragrances on the planet and a fall winter staple. This has been knocking them down all day long. All right. So in order to be a high value man, it's really important that people who are already high value say you're part of the group. And that's what bothers a lot of guys. A lot of people are upset because, you can't be high value and homeless. You know, there are always interesting discussions, but who decides who's high value? The market, the world. You can't just self-proclaim yourself as high. You cannot just proclaim yourself as high value. The market gets to decide, and the market is the world, and the world is made up of men and women. Men that are higher value to other men may or may not be the same as the men that are high value to women. But let's get on into it. What is a high value woman? This is a question that keeps coming up. Well, we get it, Godfather. High value man is something rare. It's special, or else it wouldn't be necessary. One of the most important things is I see so many people trying to wedge themselves into a category that honestly they may not fit. So let's do this. 2,500 people here. We only got $46. Come on, man. Here, what you gonna do? That little dollar sign down there at the bottom. Come on, man. Show some love in the chat. Do something up there real quick, because being these things cost money. Let's look at the definition of high. What does high mean? More than average, unusual. That's what it means to be high, more than average or unusual. So if it's more than average, unusual, that's the overall definition of high. More than the norm. High value. And I don't actually, I don't want to do that. I don't want to break all this down. We know what a high value man is, okay? And if you don't know, you're about to learn real quick. Shout out to RH Auto LLC. Here's the thing. A high value man is much more of a static concept. Either you are or you are not a high value man. But the question is, if there's a high value man, is there such thing as a high value woman? Well, for the sake of this conversation, I will say yes, there is. A high value woman, more than anything else, it is linked to her usefulness to men. I know it's going to tick some women off, but that's the truth, ma'am. Being a high value woman and just like as a man, you must be useful to others and the group. Frankly, to be a truly high value woman, you must be useful to others in the group, in particular, men. So all my feminists are probably going to start getting upset saying you cannot be high value and not necessarily irrespective of a man. And I say no. When you go look up high value woman, 2.6 billion hits will come back on high value women versus high value woman. And you'll hear things like this. A high value woman is many things, but above all, she is a woman who knows her value and only wants people in her life who values her too. She owns, loves, and respects herself and knows her life is no less abundant without a man in it. And that's what it makes her a high value woman. And that is straight up BS. Ladies, like it or not, that stuff you've been fed by a womanist feminist don't work for you. This whole I don't need a man. Look, ladies, make no mistake. As human beings, you are judged, ladies, by the caliber of men you attract, but more importantly, than you can that you keep. That's why this whole thing is taking off so much, because it's a real-time progress report for men to say, where do I rank? And for women to actually say, well, what about the men that I say that I want? Would they want me? Keeping. A man must want to keep you. Why is that important? Because that shows the world, the market, that you are an asset. Let's look up the definition for asset, shall we? Let's look up the definition for asset. Asset definition. The simple definition for asset means a useful or valuable thing, person, or quality. To be an asset, you must be useful. Useful to who? Useful to a man. Useful to the market. The market is men. Being useful to women may make you feel good, but it's incomplete. A high value woman, in her simplest sense, is a feminine asset. She is a feminine asset in her simplest form. Great. What are some things that make her high value. Let's get into it. Ready? 2,900 people watching, $370. And in the chat room, I want you guys to keep it civil, keep it cool. People can have differing opinions, but keep it respectful. First, let's start with the A's. First off, oh, the chat is moving. I think we need to slow the chat down. All right, what's catching up? First, the first two A's. A high value woman is attractive and appealing. Now, understand, she is these things to three components of a human being: mind, body, spirit, soul, whatever word you want to use. A high value woman is attractive to the mind, to the body, and the spirit of a man. She's appealing to the same things. What does she need to be attractive? Well, this is where this whole notion of beauty comes in. But there are some things that are pretty much standard. Beauty, while it may be in the eye of the beholder, it is still objective. There's an objective standard of beauty, and a fitness component is there. So a high value woman is attractive and appealing. And in those subcategories, there has to be a fitness in there. You don't see many women considered to be high value, morbidly obese. But to go completely down the rabbit hole on looks would be to cheapen it, because just because you are attractive, notice I didn't say beautiful, I said attractive. But it must be more than just attractive. It must be appealing. Appealing. Those two things are linked. Attractive and unappealing doesn't matter. Appealing and unattractive doesn't matter. They're linked. Attractive and appealing. Think of some of the women who would have been considered high value throughout time. They were both attractive and appealing to mind, body, spirit of a man, to the market, to the man, to the masses, to her city, her church, her community. And how does she become this way? Well, one, she understands that her beauty is currency. She doesn't let herself go. She takes care of her appearance because her appearance makes her more appealing and thus more attractive. Can you be a high value woman and be unattractive and unappealing? No. Next, she has a comforting character. She is comfort to her man. She is comfort to her children. She is comfort to her family. She is comfort to those she cares about. Comforting character. This is what so many people think about, the ability to soothe. This is where so many women lose today with their masculine desire to be ambitious and driven. You lose the comforting character that women 50, 70, 80, 100 years ago did not have. Your PhDs.
I'm a PhD.
And your degrees and everything else, but there was a softness to them. When you sat up in your grandma's lap, she's that woman that you hand the crying baby to and the baby gets quiet. She's also that for her man. She's his peace. Part of her character is the ability to comfort in her character. And her character is beyond reproach. No one's going to sit up and call a high value woman and say she's out in the streets. Her character gives her the benefit of the doubt. I'm about to go there. With today's social media and the instant, I've watched many podcasts asking is loyalty possible in a social media age, or is just cheating of the default setting? Well, when with a woman of character, she gets the benefit of the doubt. High value women's character sets them apart from others. Even on an off day where she may respond in a way where other people may say, man, she's being a real biznatch, she'll get the benefit of the doubt because her character stands her apart. All right. So she's appealing and attractive. She has a comforting character. She's comforting to her man's mind. She's comforting to his body. And she's comforting to his spirit. Yep. Same thing with her, like I said, her children, her friends. She's the one that everyone looks to. If not, she wouldn't be special. Now we're about to get into it. Go ahead and get the likes up, people. Now we're about to get into it. See, being attractive is something that many women can hit on. Being appealing is more difficult, still possible. A comforting character is a choice. It can be done, but it requires a certain mindset. And what's the next part of it? She is discerning and she is disciplined. This is where most women fall apart. Because the discipline. Remember when I said she's attractive, and the attractiveness and the appealing part, there's a beauty component and a fitness. Without discipline, you cannot remain fit. See, the discipline part means she was able to sit under masculine authority and not chafe. She understands that the man that she wants to lead has to do things in a certain way, and she has discipline enough to not need to sit there and question everything he's doing. She's disciplined enough to get up early, do what she needs to do, make sure that the house, the kids, her job, blah blah, whatever she does, she's disciplined. And this is why fitness is so important, because to lead a fit life requires a disciplined diet, an exercise regimen, beauty routine. Discipline separates so many women. You can see a woman who is disciplined, and men value that in her. It also leads back into her character because it requires character to be disciplined. Many women fall right here, the discipline. If you've been around a woman who's disciplined, she keeps herself, there's a standard. Everywhere she goes, there's a standard. She sets a standard. Cleanliness, the way she carries herself, the way you can't talk to a woman who is disciplined. Men will clean up their language in the presence of a disciplined woman. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Boys will be boys. If men just let it all hang out when you're around, there you go. Next, she's discerning. And this is another one where most women fall apart. The double D's, discerning. See, discernment simply means good judgment. You can look at a woman who's disciplined, but look at her friends and to see whether or not she's discerning. If she hangs around with a bunch of ragamuffins and Tatianas, skip. But good judgment, discernment, it can be trusted. She trusts her own judgment. So when her man says, we got to go over here and take this risk, her answer is yes. Because she can run all the numbers and understands what he's trying to do and sit back and say, well, if he's going here, I can make this happen here. Discerning and discipline are extremely important. A woman of discernment. Well, I'm not going to go to this party. I'm not going to go to this event because I'm a woman of a certain caliber. And being in these environments will make me look bad to potential employers, men, whatever. And see, this goes across the board, whether she's married or unmarried. See, and you may not need to have PhDs and all those other things, but it requires an intelligent woman to navigate these things. See, there's a huge misnomer that high value men want just arm candy and bimbos. Not hardly. So what? And why do you? So high value is less than 2% of the population, and that's according to you. See, what really bothers a lot of people is they're not this. Let's be honest. This makes a lot of guys chafe because they're not there. Less than 3% of the population is over 6'2". What's your point? It only matters to you if you feel some kind of way by not being there, and it doesn't change the fact that that's what people want to be. And some of you guys, when you sit around here, well, I've heard men think that, well, there is no such thing as a high value man. You're a straight up fool. You walk out of the house and there's a ranking system. So if you want to cry about high value, go elsewhere. It is what it is. And if it's 2%, the question is, which part are you in? And how do you feel about it? Because apparently that super chat, let's go ahead and go back to this. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. You spent $2. You spent $2. So I'm going to go ahead and refund you your $2 because you need that back. Go ahead and get your $2 back. Send me an email. I'll give you $2 back. All right. There's nothing worse than crybaby men. It's crybabies. I can't stand you crybabies. You do better just keeping your mouth closed, other than showing everybody that you're weak. All right, next. Any other guys want to cry before we get in? Raise your hand, and so we can just go ahead and show you out. Because I would love to hear this guy go up to a woman and say, a woman says, I want a high value man. And his response is, well, you do know that only 2% of the men are high value. What do you think she's going to do? Oh, really? Well, then shit, then I don't want one of those. Well, if only 2%, well, shit, I'll take you then. The 80-20 rule. Well, only 1 out of 5 guys are in the 20%. What do you think you're going to tell the average woman? Well, I want one of the 20. Well, then I'll take you. Now they'll stand in line for the 2%. While you guys over here, see, this is a problem with a lot of guys. You think being right makes you a winner. You haven't learned this. Being right doesn't make you a winner. The next parts. So we got the A's. She's appealing and attractive. She has a comforting character. She's discerning and disciplined. A lot of women can just shuffle themselves out of here right there. Discerning, good judgment, discipline. I'm not disciplined. Because the next two, she's enthusiastic and exuberant. Enthusiasm. She's like a kid or a puppy in her approach to the market. What does that mean? Puppies are always happy to see you. Kids act like, wow, whoa, that's a cool bottled. Geez, look at that. It has a silver top with dots on it. Oh my God. And it has like brown liquid in it. Oh my God, that's amazing. And you take it off and the cap comes off. Oh, gee. Oh, my God. It smells so good. And whoa, this is like the best thing ever. And oh, my God. It even smells incredible. Do you see that, guys? Oh, my. Kids will make you happy about simple stuff. Now, the adult in me will tell you that the fragrance in here is $3,000 for 100 ml of it. The kid cares about the bottle. If you're a parent and you've ever bought a kid a fancy gift and they had more fun with the box, they taught us a lesson. And far too many women today have lost their kid-like, puppy-like enthusiasm. You're supposed to be comfort and character. Your man comes through the door, or you see your man after whatever, and does he get enthusiasm from you? What's the last thing you were enthusiastic about? Ask you what you want. Oh, then all comes the enthusiasm. But when it comes to asking about what he wants to, do you prepare a meal with enthusiasm? Do you clean with enthusiasm? Do you make love with enthusiasm? Is there an exuberance about you? There's a zest for life? Do people feel lighter, brighter, better in your presence? There's just something about her. She's enthusiastic and exuberant. She has a lightness to her. She makes the world feel lighter, and she brightens up any place. Now, you masculine, strong, independent, I don't need no man, rest and be face women. The only thing you're exuberant about is arguing. That's what turns you on. Oh, I'll argue with you all day long. You're exuberant about arguing. That's why you're not high value. Enthusiastic and exuberant. All right? Telling you, you can learn from women who got this mastered.
All right,